Live from Southern California, this is the Jim Rome Show.
Welcome to the jungle, the Tuesday edition. I am Jim Rome. The show is presented by FanDuel. Nice to have you here. What's going on? All right, good show for you today. Let me open it up right off the very top. I'm going to start off by telling you we have one interview. So that means the show is wide open, 3 hours, one interview instead of our customary two, meaning you can get through. Go ahead, take a shot. You know the ways to engage. You can call the program. You can hit me up on X. You can hit me up on email. If you want to jump up into the chat, go ahead and do so. Just pick a lane. 1-800-636-8686. Or if you want to get to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. We are broadcasting live. We are streaming live from our YouTube channel. It's something we started a number of weeks back. It is killing it. It's hitting. If you want to go ahead and do that, that is the best way, in my opinion, to watch the show on the internet. There are other ways to watch the program. We have other platforms as part of our Rome TV channel. But if you want to watch the show directly on the internet, you should go to our YouTube channel and then jump up into the chat. Thank you very much, XCR. If you want to watch the show for free, here are the other ways to see it. You have YouTube, you have Amazon Prime, Roku, TCL, DirecTV, Plex, Samsung TV Plus, Vizio, LG, all great ways. Just pick one. Pick the best way to watch it. Or you can listen on terrestrial radio, or you can listen on Sirius XM. If you want to email me, you can email me too, rome@haveatake.com. All right, so coming up at 12:40, hour number one, the head football coach at Missouri, Eli Drinkwitz. Eli, interestingly enough, has a lifetime golden ticket. He can use it whenever he wants. I don't know that he ever will. And frankly, I don't have the smack off scheduled yet for this year. Maybe I'll let him decide. If he commits to me, maybe I'll decide that's the day we do it. Rare is the D1 coach. Rare is any coach or any active athlete at this point that is holding a golden ticket. Eli is. So anyway, we'll have him coming up at 12:40. And again, at this point, there is no second guest. So if you want to get up in here, go ahead and do so. All right, so let me start with some good news and, well, frankly, some bad news. The good news is I am not giving the Bags what they want. More run off the very top of the program. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving them what they want. That's the good news. The bad news, I will get to those Bags later on. Good news, bad news. I started with the good news, though. Now, unfortunately, some more bad news. At least bad news potentially for all my friends in the D. Not to go all Gino and San Antonio on you guys, but I do have some tough talk. Some tough talk, but some real talk. And we started it yesterday, and I want to finish it right now. And I'm not looking to go all Dodger Jim on you either. But be warned, the Dodgers are going to come up in this conversation. Of course, you probably know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your two-time defending Cy Young Award ace, Tarik Skubal. Or I should say, your two-time defending Cy Young ace for now. Your ace of right this second. Because, of course, the biggest question of the impending trade deadline is he going to be dealt? And if so, to whom? Because we all know he's the kind of pitcher that can tilt a pennant race or anchor a postseason run. A generational type talent. Which might make you then ask, well, why the hell would they move him? Rome? Why would they trade him? Rome? Well, because he's set to become a free agent. And it certainly does not look like the Tigers are going to be able to come up with the cash to be able to keep him. And if it's unclear if they can keep him, and if it's unclear if he even wants to stay, he's 29. He's won the last two AL Cy Young Awards. He's going to hit the open market. He's going to be paid like the ace that he is. And Detroit probably can't come up with that number. So then it comes potentially, all right, if you can't keep this guy, then where's he going to go? And then for who? For what? Why would you keep him? All right, so try to make the argument, well, no, wait a minute. We don't have to move that guy. We're not going to move that guy. Why would we move that guy? Why? Why would you keep that guy? So you can make a run at the World Series this year? That would make a lot more sense. And I would listen to that argument if the Tigers weren't 47-53 right now. 4.5 games out of the wild card. Contending this year feels like a pipe dream. And if Detroit is not contending, and there is literally no reason to think that they will be, there's no reason to hold on to the guy. You're not letting a generational talent walk out that door and get nothing in return, Detroit. Believe me, you do not want to be the Angels, because look where those losers are right now. And you can miss me with all this nonsense about how well they've played since they got him back. Well enough for what? A run at the last wild card spot? Yes. This guy makes any legit contender into a legit World Series threat. But the Tigers are not that. They're a fourth-place team right now. They're not a contender. They're having a good July. That's not a reason to keep a guy and wind up letting him walk and getting nothing in return. I know Detroit fan does not want to hear any of this. I know Detroit fan probably doesn't even believe any of this. I mean, I get it. Of course you don't want to hear it. And Tiger fan probably will never see another arm like this one ever again, especially not a lefty arm like this one ever again. This dude's arm is absolutely electric. But it makes no sense to keep him and risk getting nothing in return with the kind of season they're having right now. And if you don't want to take it from me and you think that I'm just setting it up for something else, don't. Don't take it from Dodger Jim. Take it from ESPN Jeff. ESPN Jeff is way more credible than Dodger Jim. I'm talking about Jeff Passan. Quote, considering the hole they've dug themselves, they are far more likely than not to move Skubal beyond their 4.5 game deficit for the final wild card. They're behind 6 other teams, and they will squeeze every ounce of value out of the best pitcher in the world. He is the dream deadline candidate, the sort of ace who can carry a team in the postseason. Whoever lands Skubal will pay an enormous price happily. See, that's the other thing. Not only are they 4.5 out, they have to jump over 6 teams. That's another big part of it. So I hate to say it, Detroit, but I can't push back on any of that. And if there is a team willing to pay the enormous price and put together an enormous package, Detroit pretty much has to just take the best offer and then just keep moving. Now, who might that be? Who can offer the best package is a completely different type of conversation. And of course, that's where the Dodgers enter the conversation. And of course, that's also where the Dodger haters and the lava pigs enter the same conversation. And you just know, if the Dodgers end up getting this guy, it is going to start a brand new chorus of people crying that the Dodgers are ruining baseball, except this time it'll be 20x. I gotta ask though, and I understand it. I really do. I understand why it pisses you all off so much. I really do. But I do have to ask, what do you want them to do? Are they supposed to take pity on everybody else? Are they supposed to not try their hardest to win? What do you want them to do exactly? What are they supposed to do differently? Sit this one out? Are the Dodgers supposed to apologize for how well run they are? Are they only supposed to bring in certain guys? Is there a list somewhere of players that the public has pre-approved for the Dodgers? Is it somebody else's turn to now land a star player? Is that how you all want it to work? Because that's obviously not how it works. That's never how it's going to work. So I don't want to hear any crying if the Dodgers do end up putting together the best package for that guy. And they end up landing that guy. Because if they do, it's going to be because they have the best organization and the best resources to pull this off and the best and most attractive thing to offer. Something that they're not going to apologize for, nor should they ever. Yes, I understand why it's aggravating to so many of you, especially smaller market fans, mid-sized market fans. I understand why it's got to get old watching this juggernaut keep landing the best player available. I know why you're frustrated. I just don't get what you think the Dodgers are supposed to do. They're doing what every fan wants their team to do, namely everything in their power to win. There's a reason why they keep landing the best available players, and they're not going to stop trying because it's working. They're succeeding. They're not going to take pity on everybody else, nor should they. Now, that's not to say they're a lock. That's not to say that they're going to win the sweepstakes for this guy. Maybe they won't. There will be other suitors. There will be other offers. And no, it's not a question of, do they even need him? Hey, Rome, they don't even need him. They don't even need him. Why would they do this? The reason the Dodgers would entertain getting a guy that they might not even need is the same reason anybody does anything, because they can. Let me give you one more reason. I'll give you another reason, then better than actually than because they can. To block the competition, their biggest competition for a three-peat. Namely, let's make damn sure that he doesn't go to the ATL. Let's make sure that even though we don't need him, Philadelphia doesn't get him. Or Milwaukee. We don't need him going and teaming up with The Miz. Or what if all of a sudden the Yankees are buyers? What if the Yankees are like, well, we can get healthy and we can get this guy? So, two reasons right there. Why would LA do it if they don't need him? Because they can, and because they want to make sure that whoever stands in their way of a three-peat does not get him instead. This is why Detroit needs to take the best offer and just keep moving. You're not going to sign this guy. You can't afford to sign this guy. Get the best package of prospects, even an everyday player that makes a difference, and then let this dude go get this massive fortune from somebody else. In the meantime, I'm just going to sit back and await his arrival in Southern California. Wait and see how it all plays out at the deadline. But if the Dodgers do win these Scuba sweepstakes, they'll just say, from the bottom of their heart, that they would like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the bleep he wants. Wow. Did that actually happen? I didn't hit the dump on that, bro. Okay. Are we still on the air, Alvy? Are we still employed? All of us? I don't know if you are, Alvy. I know I am. I didn't hit that button. You know what's hilarious? Alvy has been told over and over and over again, watch him. Watch the host. Watch the host. Make sure nothing happens. Make sure the host doesn't get out of hand. Make sure the host doesn't slip. And what happens? That. Alvy, you're the last line of defense. Make sure Rome does not do anything irresponsible. Make sure that Hall of Famer has got everything under control.
I don't know what happened there.
Alvy, can I have a word with you?
Hey,
Can you put your headphones on upside down? Bro, what happened?
Okay, let's think this
Use
through.
your words.
We've played
Let's
that
not
sound.
think this through. Just tell me what the bleep just happened.
We've played it before, and it's always been bleeped out. Now it's not bleeped out. So.
Oh no, I know that. I want to know how or why.
I'm diagnosing the problem. Oh hey.
Oh hey, that's the FCC on the line over there.
So I must have been replenishing bytes and didn't bleep that
Wow,
one.
dude. Can I
That
get you some
didn't go
blue
through.
cheese without word salad?
So yeah, I'm gonna.
Some vinaigrette, perhaps?
So here's what I'm gonna do to rectify the situation. I'm going to write all this down on a Post-it note, and take care of this right after the show.
It's a great idea.
Back
You know what's
to
a
you,
better
Jim.
idea? That you make sure that never happened in the first place.
Yikes! Wow, yeah, that's a first.
Yeah, I've
Put
thought about
on-
that.
Put that down. Let's mark the calendars. All right. Sorry, what were you saying? Scooble. Got it. Scooble.
Yeah. The double champ, never mind. Never mind. Anyway, what's poppin' Twitter? What's poppin' Twitter? I guess I take it back. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely everybody. The non-champ can't do things like that. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely everybody in the world. The Hall of Famer did not mean for that to happen.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, hi, Alvy. Are you back?
I could do it now. You ready?
I'd like to
Please.
take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
That's lovely, Alvy.
It's
Where
all
was
good
that
now.
first time?
Everything's clean. All right, back to you.
Yeah, that was lovely. My man, you can't put the toothpaste back in the
Never
tube.
happened.
You can't unring the bell. You can't unspill spilled milk. You can't push the cow back. Anyway. Anyway, to quote Albie, never happened. You know what? Maybe I should have started with those bags. I thought I was doing you all a favor by not starting with the bags. Probably should have started with the bags. There was no bleep bomb in the bag thought.
Withdraw.
Anyway. Oh, you have more? Anyway, the bags. I'll get to the bags. I've got the bags. I've got a number of other topics as well. I'm just going to take a short time out and check my email and see which of the suits is already out to me and what they have to say and whether or not I still have a gig here. More importantly, whether or not Albie still has a gig here. Anyway, telephone number is toll-free 1-800-636-8686. Alex Hattie, start getting loose in the bullpen. Alvin may need the rest of the day or the rest of the week or the rest of his jungle career off. Alex! People getting blown out mid-show this week. This is a rough business, man. This is a rough business. All right, so 1-800-636-8686. If you want to hit me up on X, do that. Find me at Jim Rome. If you want to email me at Rome, R-O-M-E, at haveatake.com. If you want to jump up in the chat, as many of you probably already have, just get to our YouTube channel. The chat is live. It's always live. Red Sox, my half fam, they've won 14 in a row. Their all-time record is 15. They're looking to tie that mark today. We'll talk about that and more. All right. Do you want to boost your career prospects quickly? Work your way toward a degree or supplement your skills with short-term credentials from University of Maryland Global Campus. Skills-focused, career-ready, undergraduate and graduate certificates can help you add specialized skills that employers value. All from an accredited state university. Apply right now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Here's a question, and it's directed at you, Alvin DeLauro. What are you still doing here? Wow. Dude. I'm serious.
Withdraw.
Dude, I mean it. What are you still doing here? Baseball fans, do you think you know who's going to hit a homer today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Joining the action is so easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain, and don't forget, you can make a free pick every day during the MLB season. It is just another reason why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So, are you ready to play your game today? Join all the action at FanDuel.com/Rome. That's FanDuel.com/Rome to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball, swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB.
21 plus, select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus, D.C., Kentucky, Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat, Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org, Maryland. Visit gamblinghelpline.ma.org. Call 800-327-5050, Massachusetts. Call 1-8778-HOPE-NY, New York. Call 1-8777-867, Louisiana.
I'm back. I'll make clear, I'm in that app every single day. I love it. FanDuel Predicts. I'm in the app every single day, having an absolute blast with it. And don't forget, on Thursdays, James Kelly joins me for our FanDuel Predicts segment. All right, some reaction to, well, Alvy. Reaction to Alvy, among other things, in the show open. This is coming off the chat. Radiation level okay. Quote, hey, Jim, what the F just happened? Signed, Terrence. I don't know if the XCR has that or not. Terrence, there he is. There's Terrence.
Welcome to the jungle.
All right, so that was Terrence back in the day from an audio standpoint. Terrence, at one point, was arguably the most famous caller for this show. Certainly the most famous caller never to win a smack-off, but one of the most famous and popular callers ever, and then all of a sudden just disappeared, and we didn't know what happened. And again, that's not unusual. I've said this over and over and over again. Things happen. Things change. Life happens. And then you lose track of somebody who might have called every single week for 10 years, 15 years. But then I fear the worst. I'm like, oh my gosh, this poor guy probably passed away, and we don't even know. I just assumed it. He disappeared. And then all of a sudden, we found him. And then Silk brought him out for his tour stop, or I should say smack-off call. And, I mean, that was a pretty good bit until he was walking around this restaurant, and he found Terrence and said, hey, everybody, look who I found. Terrence from Sierra Madre. And it was like this great reveal, the awesome reveal, until Terrence looked into the phone and F-bombed me. What? I waited 15 years for that? So that's what that guy meant. Curtis Joseph at Jim Rome. If you're getting ready for work tomorrow, you're probably not Alvin DeLauro.
If you're getting ready for work right now, then you're probably not Doug
I don't
Collins.
know the answer to that.
Getting ready for work
I don't know that that would cost him his job, but I don't know that that wouldn't cost him his job. Not to go Tom Jim Sula, but
I would not say that. I wouldn't say it either. I would not say that.
See, now Alvin's overcompensating now, trying to be like on his
I would
game.
not say that. I wouldn't say
Now
it
he's
either.
on top of
I would not say
everything.
that. I wouldn't say it either.
Alvin, I don't need you to overcompensate. I don't need you to be like super highly intensive focused all of a sudden, Alvy. I just needed you not to hit the F-bomb on the air.
I would not say that.
At Rome's Burner. Rome's Burner? So, okay, now I have a burner. That's news to me. And I'm using my burner to chat to myself.
Burning.
I have a burner, which I didn't know about, and I'm using it to chat to myself on my own show. Oh, all right.
I'm not here to get into Twitter nonsense.
Add Rome's Burner. Time for the jungle to see what kind of package they can get for Alan. Yeah, except we don't have much leverage,
Alan.
right? It's not like we have leverage because when you want to move somebody like Alan, You want people to believe that you don't want to move Allen, nor do you need to move Allen. But since Allen just did what Allen just did, I may have to move Allen. So therefore, there's not going to be much of a trade package. Oh, here's a super chat. Why did this not get to the top, Tommy? Super chats always go to the top. $5 contribution. Aaron in the 206. Hey, Alvy. When Rome says, give me an A or give me an F, that wasn't what he meant. Here is a contribution to the FCC Fine Fund. $5 ain't gonna do it, man. I'm gonna need a whole lot of $5 contributions for that one. Eric on the South Side writes, nice knowing you, Jukebox.
Great job to you, Alan.
Oh, here's one. You know who's joined the party? Ratfinkism.
What do you think about Jose Canseco ratting out other guys?
Well, he's a practitioner of ratfinkism, so it's sensationalism, and people like to get sensational news. But I support Larry Bonds.
It's my man Don King back in the day supporting ratfinkism and, quote, Larry Bonds. At ratfinkism, dear Alvy, dude, no.
Dude, no.
Matt Bogart, 6882, quote, Alvy threw the show right into the ground. Stucknut. Stucknut goes by the handle of Stucknut Radio. FCC. What happened? Alvy, dude, I don't know, but I wrote it on a post-it note, and I'll address it later. Couldn't you just see Alvy being that dismissive? I mean, frankly, he's that dismissive with me. Why wouldn't he be that dismissive with the FCC or anybody else for that matter? Hey, Alvy, call for you. Dude, who is it? The FCC? Tell them I'll get back to them. Alvy, it's the FCC. I need you to take the call. Hello? Yeah, is this Alvin DeLauro? Yeah, who's this? The FCC. I mean, the FCC. All right, well, what can I do for you folks? Did you just do it with... I can't do this bit. I keep going into Alvin's voice whenever it's supposed to be the FCC. Quote, what happened? Dude, I don't know. But I wrote it on a post-it note. I'll address it later. Great job, Stucknut. That's Alvy at his most dismissiveness. Rogue News 7898. Jim, your staff looks like they've never seen the inside of a gym. They don't play in the NBA. They work on a radio program. Hey, Rogue News 7898. Point is what? Y'all are talking. Lauren did that. Y'all. Is that one of those, hey, man, you're all talking sports, but you look like you've never seen the inside of a gym? I don't know if, yeah, it's probably true. King Shark 49. I listened back. You guys are safe. Somebody hit the dump button the very split second before the F-bomb was audible. It was definitely close, but the F-bomb did not get out over the air. Tommy, let me check with you. I don't know who King Shark 49 is. Did that get out?
No, I do not believe it does. I think King Shark actually, Stucknut also verified separately within the chat that he checked the stream. It did not make it out.
All right, so
Thank
it
goodness.
didn't. Okay, but again, we're on terrestrial radio, we're on satellite radio, we're on YouTube, we're on all the other platforms. Conceivably, could it have gotten out in some places but not other places, or did we kill that thing?
I actually think we completely killed that thing.
Ah.
In our old setup, without saying too much, maybe it would have gotten out in a place or two, but I'm pretty sure it didn't get anywhere.
Okay. All right, Alvy. Alvy, we may see you tomorrow. You might be okay, Alvy. But you still look like you've never seen the inside of a gym. Hey, Tommy, have you ever seen the inside of a gym?
Ever? Yes. Lately, not that much.
You played college baseball, right?
I did not, but I did play 3 sports in high school. And I'm kidding. I work out.
Okay.
I'd rather play tennis than use the gym, but I do use the gym.
Got you. Alvy, you? I was afraid to hit any button. I was afraid to even talk now at this point. Alvy, don't worry. I mean, you're not going to answer with an F-bomb. Alex Hattie, I already know the answer, no. XCR, no. Me, yes, but hey, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not moving heavy weights, but I have seen the inside of a gym. Let's see. UCLA Dodger Dog, Rome. I need a break. Eli Drinkwitz coming up next. Stay tuned for that. He's a golden ticket recipient and an SEC head coach. That conversation's next.
You're listening to the Jim Rome Show.
That's accurate. It is the Jim Rome Show, starring me, Jim Rome of Westwood One. Not only that, but also we are on SiriusXM. We are also on YouTube. We are also on the Rome TV channel that has 8 other platforms. So you can find us any number of places, and you know I'm fired up for this. We are joined right now by the head football coach at Missouri. He is entering his 7th year there. The Tigers went 8-5 last year. They played in the Gator Bowl. He has an overall record of 46-29. He has led Mizzou to 6 straight bowl games. He was the 2023 SEC Coach of the Year. Missouri opens up at home against Arkansas Pine Bluff on September 3rd. You know I'm talking about Eli Drinkwitz. Eli, always look forward to our July conversation. How you doing, my dude?
Romy, man, it's always great to be back in the jungle for our annual Chop It Up session, man. Always got to give a shout out to the Clones and the 909. Also want to branch out just a little bit and give a shout out to the Clones up in Victorville and Barstow. You know, I think things are going pretty good here in Como. Sunny weather. It's a little bit hot. We're probably doing a little bit better than Brad in Corona, who's probably stuck in traffic on the 91. Hey, by the way, did you give him a free fast pass for winning the Smack Off 30 or not? And then, hey, also don't want to forget Silk. Shout out to Silk in Huntington Beach. He's probably celebrating Spencer Pratt's loss, laying on the beach right now, sipping on a Mai Tai. And then, as always, man, got to give a shout out to one of the best GMs in the country, Nick Caserio. He's probably sitting in his basement right now, figuring out how to get the Houston Texans to the Super Bowl. We're always rooting for a true clone in Nick. So with that, Rome, let's get this party started, man.
Oh, no, we're done, Eli. Rack him. We're done. You just won Smack Off 31. I was going to try and ask you when you were available for Smack Off 31, Eli, but you just won Smack Off 31. A Smack Off just broke off. Man, that was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible, man. You have outdone yourself. Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and get this thing started, but make sure that Alvy, don't hit the F-bomb again, Alvy. He did. He hit an F-bomb, Eli, before you came on, but don't do that again and make sure he's racked. Man, I'm telling you, dude. So how has your summer been going? From the sounds of things, pretty damn good. Were you able to get away, recover, recharge a little bit before the upcoming season?
Yeah, I actually did. You know, I did a little bit of vacation with the family. We went to the beach over in Florida. Went up to D.C., actually got a Capitol tour, a West Wing tour, which was pretty cool. You want to talk about a guy who can talk some smack, man. President Trump, he's got some things written on the walls in the West Wing. There's some serious smack talk. Calls him Sleepy Joe Biden, which is pretty interesting. And then made it out to Montana. Had a little time out in Montana, did a little trout fishing, played some golf. So, man, I'm ready to go. It's football season time now, and can't wait to crank it up.
Eli Drinkwitz joining us. You know, we used to have the house in Montana. I love Montana. That is an amazing state. Where did you go?
We went to Hamilton, Montana. Stayed at a place called Stock Farm Club. Governor Newsom was actually out there at the same time we were. So, I mean, you know, all the way around, man.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. You ride with and roll with some pretty important people. All right, so I mentioned, this is interesting, Eli. This is your 7th year at Missouri, which makes you the second longest tenured head coach in the conference behind Kirby Smart. Now, there's nothing like life in the SEC. Can you kind of lay out for me, what's it been like, the journey, going from being the new guy back in 2019 to being an elder statesman in that conference?
Yeah, man, it's been an interesting ride for sure. I remember the first SEC head coaches meeting. Coach Saban was in there, Jimbo Fisher, Jeremy Pruitt, Gus Malzahn, Dan Mullen, Ed Orgeron was the head coach at LSU. And now you look in that room and it's Kirby Smart and myself. And it's pretty – now, actually, Coach Kiffin's still there. He's just at a different location in the table. But it's been interesting to watch guys come and go and really good football coaches. And I think that's the thing that keeps me the humble and low ego the most is that, man, there's been some really good football coaches coming to this league, and it's just hard to win football games. There's a lot of things that go into it. It's not just great coaching. It's also finding great players, great support from the system. And then you got to get lucky. And, man, we've been fortunate the past couple of years. We've had some good breaks. Now, last year had some injuries late in the season, but look forward to getting our team back in the playoff hunt and conversation this season.
Missouri head coach Eli Drinkwitz is joining us once again. He's got a golden ticket. We actually just won the smack off, so I don't have to worry about that this year. Eli, what about your quarterback one, Austin Simmons? He spent the last 3 years at Ole Miss. Let me ask you this. How would you describe his headspace, his mindset, after he went down with an ankle injury and didn't get his job back and saw Trinidad Chambliss do what he did? What's he been like for you so far?
Man, I think he's been really courageous. He's put himself out there. He's come over here with the right kind of mindset, low ego, high output. Has really done a great job just leading our football team in the right way. He's not a huge rah-rah guy. He's never going to be confused for Tim Tebow, but he is a guy who's got an unbelievable arm talent. He's incredibly intelligent. He does a great job of communicating within the team, not just to the players, but also to the coaches and the support staff. I've just been really impressed with his approach, and he's got the right kind of chip on his shoulder. He's not angry. He's not bitter about what happened to him last year. He's just anxious for his opportunity. And I think he's found a really good opportunity here at Missouri. I think, Kirk Cignetti said that the two best friends for a quarterback are our run game and defense. And obviously our run game with Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts is going to be as good as anybody in the country. It's the best 1-2 back in the country, I think. And then defensively, we've been, traditionally really good with Corey Batoon. The cool thing about that is Coach Batoon and Austin both have background in Hawaii. So, man, they Hakuna Matata together, man. They got no worries. They're just hanging out, slinging the rock and blitzing the quarterback. It's going to be awesome.
It's good life right there. Eli Drinkwitz joining us. I'm glad you mentioned Ahmad Hardy. I was going to ask you about him. For those who don't know, and most do, but he set that rushing record for the program last year, over 1,600 yards. But he suffered that gunshot wound in his leg while attending a concert. You did address this yesterday, but given that it's uncharted territory pretty much for everybody, how is he doing, and is there any kind of timetable for his return?
Yeah, he's medically cleared. There was a bone struck in the gunshot, and that's been fully recovered. Now it's just about getting back to speed, and he's done really good so far. It's like I said the other day, he's not supposed to be riding horses, but he's riding horses. And somebody asked me, the doctor said, "Hey, is he supposed to do that?" I said, "Well, hell, every Western I've ever seen, John Wayne was riding horses. He'd been shot. Augustus McCrae rode horses after he'd been shot in Lonesome Dove." So Ahmad's going to be just fine. The biggest thing for us is we got to get his body back. He missed about 7.5 weeks of off-season training. And for a running back, we got to make sure that he gets that training and not rushing back into just playing football. So, I've got the best athletic performance team in the country. Ryan Russell, who's actually from Cajon, California, shout out again to the Clones and the IE. And he's doing a great job getting him back. He's been doing, he's got a special 5-week training block here for him with our nutritionist. So I feel confident he's going to be ready to go.
I'm laughing, Eli, because I think you've done such a great job there. I mean, you're 7 years in, you're in a tough conference. You've done a great job. But I could just sit here and listen to your shout outs the entire interview. If you did like 50 shout outs and we never talked about anything other than that, it would still be one of the better interviews. Let me ask you mentioned your defense, right? It's always the best friend for a quarterback or an offense as well. What about a defense that was ranked in the top 10 last year? You obviously turn it over every single year, but you do have Nicholas Rodriguez coming back, for instance. Does it look like a top 10 unit on paper to you this year?
Not on paper, not yet, but it's got the top 10 ability. And I think the biggest thing for us is, college football has gotten so into this sexy nature of bringing this guy back and this guy back. But we can't forget college football is built on development. And we've got players who have played some football, and now it's their opportunity to shine. And obviously, we've got to replace some really good players who left to the pros. I mean, Josiah Trotter, Zion Young, L's up for Z, and then you got Toriano Pride, Chris McClellan. So we've got to replace 4 legit draft picks who are playing in the NFL. But we got guys who can do that. Darius Smith, who had 4 sacks last year. Langdon Kitchen is a guy who can play defensive end. Jaden Jones, Dayton Hopkins. You got Big Grizz, Marquise Graciel, Jalen Marshall. In the middle. So we've got plenty of talent. It's now just their opportunity to play together and get after it. And I took Nick Rodriguez to the SEC Media Days. He's from South Florida, Argentina. He left his top 2 shirt buttons unbuttoned. He told me I need to get a little bit of that South Florida slag, let some lettuce hang out there like Tony Montoya. And I was like, bro, I'm not quite ready for that. So maybe one of these days I can
what
get
do you
a gold
mean?
chain.
Whenever I look at you, Eli, I think Scarface. That's the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I think
that's
of.
exactly what
you
you
in a
think of.
giant mountain of Bolivian marching powder on your desk right there in Colombia. I always think of that first. No, it's really funny. Speaking of SEC Media Days, what's not so funny, a lot of talk out of there about possibly the SEC breaking away from the NCAA. Could you see that happening?
No, I don't rattle sabers. That's not my deal. I think the best way forward is for us to find common ground with this bill that's in the Senate. I think the Cruz-Cantwell bill, I think we've been working for a long time to try to find commonality. I've talked about this yesterday. The problem with college football is we've got 3 unknown variables. You can't solve any problem if you only have one variable. We've got 3. We've got age limits. We've got eligibility issues. We've got an unlimited cap, and then we've got unlimited transfer. We have to get some mechanisms in place to not control the market, but to set groundworks for the market. And as long as you have eligibility issues, which again, let me remind you, those eligibility issues began in the SEC. Okay, so for us to break off, that makes a lot of sense to me. And then my SIDs tell me to shut up. And then we've got an unbelievable uncapped marketplace.
Nobody tells you anything, my man. Nobody tells you anything, my man. You're Eli Drinkwitz. You're like Alvin DeLauro. You do whatever the hell you want. You're the double champ. You're like Conor McGregor. You apologize to absolutely nobody for anything.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is, man, I just think that, breaking away sounds like it's something to do. How would you even do that? Like we don't even know what that looks like. Are we going to say football just breaks away? Are we going to say that ping pong's not going to break away? Like what are we doing here? So my thing is, let's get serious. Let's get with the Cruz-Cantwell. Let's get to this committee. Let's figure out a way to get this bill through Congress. The ball's on the 10-yard line. All right. And yeah, I mean, we're facing some tough run defense there, but let's figure out a way to get this thing across the goal line.
Especially, you're great in the red zone. What a legend. He is the SEC Coach of the Year from 2023, 8-5 last year. Again, they open up against Arkansas Pine Bluff on September 3rd. Nobody like him. Eli Drinkwitz, my guest. Eli, you are the best, man. I appreciate you so much. What an awesome, awesome catch-up. I always look forward to it. And, my man, there is nobody like you. I mean that.
Jim, I can't make it to the golden ticket, but I've got a golden ticket for you. I'd like for you to come address our football team sometime this fall. I've seen your podcast. Reinventing yourself. And I think you would be an unbelievable person to come address our team and talk about life outside of football and also how to relate to the media. So I got an open invitation for you to come out and check out the University of Missouri, check out our football team. We start fall camp August 3rd. Anytime from that point on, man, I'd love to get you out here.
Well, man, I wonder if anybody other than you would know who I was, but I'm going to take you up on that. I would love to do that. That'd be an honor. That'd be an absolute honor. Let's get that done. All right.
I'm waiting on you, okay. MIZ.
I'll do it. Nice job, Eli. I appreciate that. I'm going to take you up on that. I mean that. All right, Eli Drinkwitz. What a great offer that was. What a great conversation. Like I said, nobody like him. Stay tuned. Diaz, Manny, thanks for making time. Great to have you on. How you doing, Manny?
I'm doing outstanding. Boy, that shot of the beach was nice to see. That was making me jealous.
SoCal, yo, dude. That's how it is every single day, almost every single day. But you're not in a bad place yourself. Listen, let me ask you, you've been attending conference media days for a long time now. So how did it feel to be introduced today as the head coach of the defending conference champs after Duke won the ACC for the first time since 1962?
It sounded damn good. And it shows a little bit of the folly of the preseason and the expectations and the polls. And I don't know if anybody was picking us to win it a year ago and picking some of our top players a year ago to win, all conference as they did. But our guys stuck together. They did the right thing, and we were the ones standing at the end. So really proud of that. And we get a chance to go again now.
Manny Diaz joining us. So, Manny, what about the summer? Every single year is different. We can get into that. We know about the landscape. Everything changes. How has this summer gone, and how do you feel about what you've seen and what you have right now?
So Duke guys need evidence, right? They don't want to hear stories. They don't want to hear about feelings or whatever. They want evidence. We were the fastest and strongest team a year ago that Duke had. We are faster and stronger now. We have 11 guys that run 22 miles an hour. We had 5 a year ago. I think we have 67 guys that run 20 miles an hour total. That's almost 2/3 of our team. We were in the upper 50s a year ago. So We're actually stronger in the bench clean and in the squat. So, those are the things that let our guys know that the process works. It develops them. Now, look, we have to go play football, right? We're not in an Ironman competition or in a relay race, but it lets our guys know that they are developing, they are maximizing their potential. That's how we did it in the past. The recipe is there, and now with the championship, there's proof of concept that it does work.
Manny Diaz joining us. So if you've got 11 guys that can run 22 miles per hour, hey, Manny, if they put a clock on you, how fast could you go at this point?
Only if I was being thrown down a cliff would I be anywhere near 20 miles an hour. The question would be, how fast would my hamstrings snap into half? I think that's the real answer we're looking for.
That's the truth. So let me ask you this. So the roster turns over. You've got a question under center right now, of course, with the transfer of Darian Mensah. What about the way that's playing out? You've got Walker Egan coming in this summer, the San Jose State transfer. What are you specifically looking for in a quarterback generally? And then how is that competition shaping up?
Well, Walker Egan and Dan Mahan, our redshirt freshmen, will be the competition. When we were on the market for a quarterback, they were all pretty much taken. And really the only reason why someone of Walker's pedigree was available is he was stuck in an eligibility case. But 5,000 yards at San Jose the last 2 years is an extraordinary amount of production for it to be available. He's rehabbing off an injury. We expect him to be fully ready when the time we're ready to go for the season. And then getting him in our program, getting to know who he is, very, very diligent, almost like a coach on the field, hard worker, fits in with our locker room, fits in with our guys. And then everybody on the roster believes in Dan, and Dan's got a big time future too, just needs experience. So we'll have the two of them compete in August, but we know we've got a guy that's done it and a guy that has got a lot of potential.
Manny, to that point, like, I don't want to get too much stuck in the minutia of this, or, this is not what the fans want to hear, but it is the reality, right? The business of the business. You talked about him being stuck in an eligibility case. Then in the case of Darian Mensah, you had him in a settlement that allowed him to move on. You talked about this. For the business to move and process as efficiently as it possibly can, do you feel like these guardrails that need to be in place are being put in place? Are we making progress? Where does that stand overall for the sport?
Not nearly enough. And I know everybody's sick of hearing it, and it sucks because the game is good, right? But everything other than the game kind of stinks right now. And the issue is we can't agree on what's best because we're all competing, right? And no one's really in charge, and so everybody wants what's best for them, and we're not collaborating as what's best for the game. And I do think of the fan you're talking about. I think about the 12-year-old kid who, like, when we were 12 and we fell in love with the sport, the games are good, but there's all this other stuff, and it's just not the same. And I worry that if we continue to screw this up, we're going to alienate our next generation of fans.
Welcome to hour number 2 of the Jim Rome Show. It is presented by FanDuel. Go ahead and find me another coach like Eli Drinkwitz. Find me another coach who shows up to the show like that. And that's not one of those things like the SID fed him that. However, my man got that info either his own research. He was able to mix in a little bit of listening, a little bit of viewing, a little bit of podcast. He knows the show, and we know he has roots. He has roots going way, way, way back to the show, which is why he shouts out the 909. But that was unbelievable, even for him. And let me just say, for the record, I know a lot of you are like, yeah, hey, Rome, Robert Plant, you're not going to go talk to his team. Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to do that right now. I started the day by when should we do the smack off? When does that make sense? Now I'm like, when and how can I get to Columbia to talk to Eli Drinkwitz's team? Well, I want that now. You know that meant the world to me that he said, I've heard your Reinvention Project podcast. I think that you've had a really interesting journey yourself. I would love for you to come talk to my team and talk about the media and talk about what you've learned and what you know. I mean, what an honor. An SEC coach saying, come address my team. Like, we get invites, and I'm always pumped by that. We've gotten really, really good invites from other programs. But to get an invite from an SEC coach saying, come address my team, I'm definitely looking to make that happen. I'm looking to make that happen anytime I can. I love that space. You know I love that space. I've got a podcast with 100 episodes devoted to that space. I've started to write a book. It's not about that space, but has space in the book about that space. So that was a kick, man. That was awesome, Eli. Big shout out to you. As long as Eli's shouting everybody out, shout out to my man, Eli. I don't know that we need a smack off. I think he just won it. 1-800-636-8686. That was pretty mind-blowing. Oh, man, it's so good. And for the record, what a job he's done there. 7 years now at Missouri. Overall, 46-29. 6 straight bowl games at Missouri. 2023 SEC Coach of the Year. I love also when he started to get into the politics of the thing. He said, my SIDs tell me no. And Eli's just going. Just going, being Eli. Shaking off the SID who's trying to, he knows, kind of like Alvy used to shake me off until Alvy started punching up F-bombs. Anyway, the second day in a row where I'm responding to a guest who was awesome. Dante Whitner was so good yesterday. He made a lot of news. A lot of news for some of the things he said on this program. So I appreciated him. And I said, that's, rare is the interview that you respond to at length. So Dante yesterday and Eli today. All right, so we start hour number 2. You've got your telephone number if you want to find me on the X. Go ahead and do so at Jim Rome. If you want to email me, go ahead and do so. Rome@haveatake.com. If you want to get up in the chat, go ahead and do that too. And something else I just want to reference really quickly. I love that you're still finding YouTube. People are finding the show on YouTube. People have heard the show for years and years and years, if not decades, are like, damn, Rome, didn't know you were on YouTube. Well, we are, and it's great. Some of the reaction. Krish2404. No way he just said shout out to the clones and Brad. Oh, dude, he said a hell of a lot more than that. I mean, that in and of itself would have been something. He did way more than that. He shouted out way more than that. I'll be honest, I know he's busy and that Nick the Clone does not listen to every hour of every show, but I'm shocked I haven't heard from Nick the Clone. Nick the Clone generally has a take on most coaches that we put on, especially coaches that he respects, because Nick is well aware of everything that goes on in football, both in college and the pro game. And Nick loves good inputs. Nick loves smart coaches, good coaches, tough coaches, coaches that inspire. I guarantee he's an Eli guy, and I'm shocked that I haven't heard from Nick after Eli shouted him out. Tommy Gunn, 52801, quote, the drink just stepped his game up a ton in my book.
Step your game up.
Dude, are you kidding? Way up. The drink, even in my book, the drink went to a whole nother level. The drink always brings it. The drink always brings it. Even before we went to him live, Tommy said to me, because I always say, do we have our guest? And the answer generally is he's good. She's good. They're ready. Or we don't have them yet, but I see the setup, so we know they'll be ready in a minute. I said to Tom, do we have our guy? He goes, oh, dude, he's ready. He's ready. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, I can see him. He's ready. He's ready. He just got that energy. The drink's got that vibe. Like, he's ready. V in the Fee, quote, Eli is the man. Let's go. I'm waiting for his Orenthal reference. That was the only thing he didn't reference, and wouldn't have surprised anybody at all if he did. And Galea, MI, quote, Eli should be more worried about the playoff than the smack-off. Bro, stop being a buzzkill. You did it yesterday. You're doing it again right now. You don't want that to be your brand. You're going to come and take a dump on that guy? You're going to come and take a dump? Oh, hey, man, he should be more worried about the playoff than the smack-off. You know what, dude? He is. He is. Believe me, he's way more concerned about the playoff than the smack-off. He's just playing along, having a little fun, knows what show he's on. I mean, dude, are you that much of a buzzkill? Are you that much of a black cloud? He should be more worried about the playoff than smack-off. Bro, stop bringing me down. Everybody thought that was cool except you. Don't be that guy. This guy, Bilal, 4614. He seems cool. I'll let my son play for him. All right. Whoever your son is. I have a question for you, Bilal. Does he want your son? Who is your son? I'm not saying that your son is not a player. I just don't know who you are, who your son is. You'll let your son play for him, or you would let your son play for him? I sure as hell would send my son to him. Rude Dog 6593. Looking forward to the Rome book. Too bad 60% of the clones can't read. That might be generous. How about maybe I put some pictures in? Rizzy3, Feezy. What? I had to see this for myself. Listening since 07, I did not expect to see this on YouTube.
What?
Well, why not? Well, why did you not expect to see this on YouTube? It's been on X. It's been on 8 other platforms on our own TV channel. What? Hey, Boomer, why did you not expect to see this on YouTube? Then you have not been paying attention. Okay, it's not your fault. We have been reinventing and evolving and turning this whole thing over for the last 3 or 4 years. Everything changes. It continues to change. Why is this so surprising? What? You're on YouTube?
What?
Bro, everything's on YouTube. The point is not, what are you doing on YouTube? It's what took you so long to get on YouTube. That's a much better question. And there's a business reason for that I will not involve you with. The question is not, what are you doing there? Hey, like me on America's Home Videos. That was fair. What are you doing there? The question is, what took you so long to get here?
What were you doing there?
Fair. 541 for life. YouTube is awesome. I'm able to watch, listen, and put my unsolicited takes every day. Bam. That. Exactly. That. As many as you want. As many as you want. Free. You can watch, you can listen, you can participate with me, you can participate with the other clones. It's like a whole nother show going on during the show. Nailed it. Daily Row, quote, make sure to put your book on audio, Rome, so we can listen to it. Oh, you know I will. You know I will. Of course I will. I'm a radio guy. You know I will. All right, some reaction that's not from chat that I want to get into. Missouri is in. Marty in Missouri. Nice interview with Coach Drink. Would love to have a spot in that room when you address the Mizzou Tigers football team. Keep me in the loop. Okay, Marty. Whoever you are, Marty, sure. How do I reach you? Never mind. I'll keep you in the loop, Marty. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I know. How about that? Dear Rome, still not a Missouri fan, but that was one of the best guest opens I've ever heard on the show. Long live Alvy. Scott in South Carolina. I'm going to ask Stucknut. Has there ever been an opening salvo to match that? I don't know that I've ever welcomed a guest to the show that did better than that. And if that's not the best one ever, it's on the short list. I'm trying to think. Has there ever been a better, hey, coach, how you doing? Or, hey, guest, how you doing? Than that reaction? I don't know. It's not coming to me, I'll tell you that. Hey, Jim, you don't need a second guest today. Eli provided enough content for 2 conversations. Ray in the LA South Bay, he did that too. He did. Craig D. Randall, quote, starting your interview shouting out the 909 is legend. Signed, Craig, no longer in Fontana. War Smackoff 30.5 champion, Eli Drinkwitz. Remember, I had already given him a golden ticket. I said it before he came on. I said he's already holding. He's a lifetime holder. I've already said that golden ticket, it was not good for Smackoff 30. It's good for whenever. For as long as I do this and we have that event, that guy is a recipient of a golden ticket that is good forever. And based on what you heard today, don't think for a second that he couldn't hit the podium or, in fact, even win it. But he's not a hater. He's not running on that kind of fuel. He came right off the very top, and he paid homage to the GOAT, Brad. Jamie in Green Bay. Anyway, this goes back to Alvy. Anyway, what's poppin', YouTube?
Get that out of here.
And this one goes back also. Rome. Please don't be firing Alvin mid-show. Who do you think you are? Me? Signed the 4-letter network. Robin SC. You know, you know me. I've always, and I'll tell you why I do this. I don't talk about other shows. I don't talk about other talent unless it's just one of those things that just absolutely screams for it. Like it's the biggest thing in the world and there's no way around it. There's no way avoiding it. But I've never done that because on my way up and when I was killing it and crushing it, everybody was talking so much crap about me that I made a decision at that point. I'm not playing that game. I don't need that. That's not my currency. That's not my currency. I talk about athletes. I talk about sports. I interview athletes. Y'all are talking about me. You're talking about my show. I'm not getting in the mud with you. I'm not lowering myself to you. So I've never, ever done that. Ever done that. So I just read that because ESPN had another round of layoffs. Lots of layoffs. And what he's referencing is Ryan Clark found out in the middle of his show that he was getting laid off. And that made a lot of news. And like, how could they do that? How could they do that? I'm not picking a side on this. I've worked for that network twice. And I was laid off twice. I have no bitterness at all about that. And by the way, I had a great run at ESPN. I worked for my guy. My guy, Mark Shapiro, brought me back. And he was the one that brought me back to host Jim Rome is Burning. The argument or the report that Ryan Clark got fired mid-show, you know, a lot of people saw that were like, damn, that's classless, man. There's a better way to handle that. There is, of course. But the reason they did so reportedly was it was already out. And they wanted him to hear it from them as opposed to reading it online or a reporter going to them. I've had that happen too. I've had reporters tell me, hey, you know, they're not going to renew you. I'm like, no, I didn't know that. That's news to me. So there are right ways to handle this. There are wrong ways to handle this. You never, ever want to see somebody. Our business is so tough right now. I'm not one of those people because I believe in things like good form, good karma. No matter what you have to say about somebody or their show or their point of view, I don't ever, ever, ever root for anybody to get fired. I just don't. Because I don't run on that kind of fuel. I just think it's bad form and bad karma, and we'll come back and bite you in the ass. So anyway, that's what that was in response to. And I have a lot of friends who work over there. So even though there are people there that are not my friends, I don't want them to get fired. Hey, you know why I'm really weird like this? I don't want anybody to get fired. Even Alvy. especially Alvy. That's why he's still here. Hey, Jim.
Thank you.
That Dante Whitner interview was powerful and pure. Kudos for bringing that man on your program and showing great respect for his message. Ricky J in the 805. Hey, listen, I can't tell you how much I respect that man and his message, or the fact that he was so transparent, so real, so raw. That you want to go back and you want to find that one. And Tom, I have a question. So on YouTube, for those who don't know, are those interviews posted? If somebody is hearing, hey, Rome, great interview yesterday with Dante Whitner, can I direct them to our YouTube channel and say, sure, if you missed it, you can go find it?
You absolutely can, but it's just within the whole show. We're not separately posting the interviews, but the whole show exists every day. So you can go back all the way to our first YouTube broadcast. And going forward, every single show will be available whenever you need it. Very easy to find. You just go again to Jim Rome on YouTube, click on the channel, click into the channel. And one of the first things you should see is full daily shows. And it's every single day. You can go to yesterday's show. You can find any segment.
So, people were asking things like, whoa, that's incredible. You mean I can go find any show? No,
not quite.
No, not quite that cool. But any show since we started broadcasting on YouTube. But the podcasts, we do pull and separate. They can find them. They're standalones, correct?
That's correct. Video pods, they're video pods and they're full pods. Both pods get posted on YouTube within 24 hours of going live.
Beautiful. Right. Beautiful. So if you missed Dante Whitner, you should go find that and just look for yesterday's program and find the interview. It's a great conversation. In terms of the podcast coming up this week, we always drop the Jim Rome podcast on Wednesdays. My old pal, my old neighbor, Chris Pronger joins me tomorrow because I know that many of you love when I talk hockey. He's funny. Whenever I think about Chris Pronger, I think about I was doing my annual Halloween rap about, man, adults who dress up are the biggest knobs. They're such tools. For the last time, it's a children's holiday. It's not a parent's holiday. And then we went to a party, and there was Chris Pronger in his prime, dressed up, he and his wife. His wife's a great gal. But there's Pronger, because we live in the same neighborhood, and we're pretty friendly. And I'm like, damn, hope he didn't hear the show. Hope he did not hear the show today. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to get caught up with him. Chris Pronger tomorrow, and that will be in video form. So when we post that, within 24 hours after the fact, it will be on our YouTube channel, and it will be in video form. And in terms of, if you're asking about the Reinvention Project, I am still trying to get back to those. Everything we do here pushes that back a little bit, but I am very much committed to that. All right, let's take a break. My man, the drink got us going for that segment to start hour number 2. Stay cool this summer with AC Pro and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, receive a $20 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after rebate with the purchase of a select AC Pro ready-to-use refrigerant kit. It includes a hose and a gauge. The advanced formula works quickly to seal common air conditioner leaks in rubber O-rings, gaskets, and hoses. If your vehicle's AC is blowing hot air, beat the heat this summer with AC Pro. Talk to the professional parts people at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Check them out, O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
All right, so this guy took one shot at the question, who was the best ever response or had the best ever response to my saying or my citation? Welcome and thank you for joining us. Courts 7878, quote, best guest opener. I just got back from Red Lobster. That's right up there. That one's definitely right up there. That was Isaiah Thomas back in the day.
It's always great to have you on The Last Word. Thank you very much for joining us. What's up?
My pleasure. I just got back from Red Lobster.
You know what? Hard to beat that. Like, in terms of volume, Eli just crushed it. But in terms of a Hall of Famer just nailing it with one line that I did not expect, that came out of nowhere, it's hard to beat Isaiah.
Zeke, it's always great to have you on The Last Word. Thank you very much for joining us. What's up?
My pleasure. I just got back from Red Lobster.
The staying power of that 3-second response is absolutely incredible. And the quick background, I won't spend a lot of time on it, but the quick background was NBA journeyman Chucky Brown, who was an unbelievable guy. Great guy. He came on and he was talking about, he had been on a number of teams. And he talked about, I don't know, Avi, do we even have the cut? If not, I can explain it. He had come on, and I was just talking about his journey. He had been on at least double-digit NBA teams, and he had bounced back and forth from minor league ball to the NBA. And I said, what was it like? You know, what was it like when you got back to the NBA? And he talked about having an NBA per diem and how great it was, and that you had X amount of dollars compared to what it was like in the CBA or whatever league he was in. And he said, oh, man, you can get yourself a nice dinner. You can get yourself a Red Lobster. And so
that's another reason, Chucky, probably you have such great respect and appreciation for the NBA. A lot of these guys should go back to the CBA and spend a little bit of time. Then they might appreciate more what they have.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would help a lot because I hear a lot of we get chartered flights. We stay in the 5-star hotels, and, guys be complaining about that. I'm like, man, we get the nice meal money. In the CBA, you got $25 a day for meal money. What $25 a day can get you is Denny's. You go to Denny's every day or McDonald's. We can go. The meal money we get now is like $80-something bucks. You can go to a nice restaurant. You go to Red Lobster, get you a nice meal.
Incredible, right? Incredible. Back then in the CBA, we got 20. First of all, imagine a professional athlete fueling up on $25 a day per diem. I don't know what $25 a day back when I did that conversation or had that conversation is in 2026 dollars, but probably not a hell of a lot. But that was 2001. We had that conversation. So that conversation was a quarter of a century ago. Anyway, $25 a day. He goes, now in the NBA, we get $85 a day. You don't have to go to Denny's or McDonald's. You can get yourself a nice meal at the Red Lobster. So the reason that became a thing was for and Chucky was such a good dude, but for days and days and days and weeks, we were just going on and on about, I can't believe that guy's, of all the restaurants you could pick as an NBA player that we can do now that we're here is Red Lobster. Red Lobster. Sizzler didn't want any of that. Anyway, that's why that was so incredible, because it became such a running thread on the show that Isaiah Thomas out of nowhere, well, not out of nowhere, but from there. I just had him on my TV show at that time on Fox Sports Net, The Last Word with Jim Rome. Hey, Zeke, always great to have you on The Last Word. How you doing? Great. I just got back from Red Lobster. I'm like, whoa, dude. So at Court 7878, you're right. That might be the best guest opener. Certainly the most classic. Isaiah Thomas, I just got back from Red Lobster. If anybody else wants to weigh in on that, go ahead. As always, one of the biggest topics on the show is the show itself. And that's always fun. 1-800-636-8686. Some other things I want to get to a little bit later on. Aaron Rodgers finally reunited with his parents. Happy to see that. Really happy to see that. I don't get involved in families. Like families are different. There's a different dynamic for so many different families. So that's another thing that I never weighed in on. The fact that he was estranged from his family, this, that, or the other. So I'll weigh in now. He posted that. Another bonding week. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know the extent. I think he did go a number of years without talking to his family. We know that there was a problem in 2016 when his brother was on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Whatever it is, clearly Aaron has reunited with his family. So that's nice. I'm happy to see that. Other things we could talk about. Will Stein is catching a little bit of heat because he was asked at SEC Media Days why he thinks that he can win big at Kentucky. And he said, why? Because of me. And people are like, oh, check this out.
You said you came here because you can believe you can win here. Why is that? Kentucky historically has fought against a narrative, against perception. Why do you think you can win big here?
This is going to sound like really, I think because of me, to be honest. I think because of me. I think I know what it takes. I've seen it at the highest levels. I know what it takes to recruit at this level. And you just got to believe, man. You just got to put the ball down and play.
I'll tell you what, I'm not offended by that at all. Good. Exactly right. Damn straight. They hired it. Why did they hire me? Because of me? Why are you going to win? This is a place where traditionally it's been very challenging and tough. Why do you think you're going to win? And you know what? The way he thought about it, too. It wasn't like this bag response that came right out. He thought about it, took a sip of water, and goes, all right, I know how this is going to sound. Like, I know exactly how this is going to sound. Why? Because of me. You want that from your coach. You want that. If I'm an AD or I'm a president or anybody else and I'm interviewing that guy, hey, why should we pick you? Well, why are you different? You better have a good answer. Because of me. All right, why because of you? I'm sure he answered that question too. I have no issue with that at all. Now, if he goes out and he gets his teeth blasted out of his head, then we can have that conversation. But if you're going to stand up on SEC Media Day and say, I'm the one, I'm the guy you've all been waiting for, good. Go out and prove it. I have no issue with that. I'll tell you what I do have an issue with. But then again, let's consider the source. Anthony Street Clothes Davis says he's going to play all 82 games this year. Now, I'd love to go in on this guy, but come to find out, this is one of the funnier guys. None of us knew it. But he's got a prank show, and normally these prank shows are pretty lame, but his is actually pretty funny. Come to find out, this dude is actually pretty funny. And what's funnier than that? I'm going to play in every game this year. Good one, brah. That's really funny. Also, I don't want to forget about this guy. Do you know who has spoken and spoken from the hospital bed? My man who got flipped by the bison in Yellowstone Park. That dude. So we'll have that for you too. All of these things are still straight ahead, and the bags are still bagging it up. I've done my best to steer clear of them. They just won't let me. It's the last thing I want to do is give the bags what they want. More attention, more run, me talking about them, me looking at them, but they just won't let me stop. All of this still ahead. You have your phone number. You know where to find me. Jump up in the chat. Hit me up on X. Just find a way in here, any way you want, and we'll come right back.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Joined right now by a former NFL safety who played 11 years in the league for the Bills, the Niners, the Browns, and the Commanders. He was named to 3 consecutive Pro Bowls in 2012, 13, and 14. He is co-host of the Grit Code podcast with Patrick Willis. We are joined by Donte Whitner. Donte, really good to run you down, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Jim. I never even when people ask me who I play for, I never say the Commanders. I had such a disdain for Jay Gruden and something that happened during that year, but we won't go into that right now. But yeah, that's a great introduction.
My dude, I started to laugh when you said that, but then when I saw your tone, I stopped laughing. So are we not going to get into that?
We should get into that. Well, that's when I had one of my biggest injuries of my career. It was the last game before we, entered the playoffs, and I was hit by a wide receiver, and I got folded back, and I almost tore my quad. And he came out on the field, and he was like, "Let's get him up and get him out of here so we can get this game over with." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I lost all respect for him in that moment.
What is that? What head coach? I understand that there has to be some separation. I understand that it's a violent game. I understand that it's a ruthless game. But you played the game a long time, a certain way. What's that say about him? Why do you think that guy? Did you know that guy had that in him? What was your reaction? What did you say?
I didn't know that he had that in him, but he was so eager to try to make it to the playoffs, and I think it was late in the fourth quarter. So he just wanted to get the game over, but at the same time, you disrespected somebody who laid it all on the line for you. So I'll never respect Jay Gruden.
Yeah, the one thing about your game, and how would I know, Dante? I never played the game, much less at that level, but it is so ruthless. It is so ruthless that whenever you hear, like, it's not personal, what do you mean it's not personal? We're taking our lives into our own hands every single time we put those pads on. So I don't understand, like, man, what's it take to play and coach a game that ruthless where it could end any second?
Well, to play, you have to be insane. People ask me, like, how did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. My mentality nowadays is totally different than it was when I was playing the game of football. And I almost compare it to going to war, because you have to get everything else out of your mind, that you might get shot, you might get killed, you might get injured, you might blow your knee out, you might blow your shoulder out, you might get paralyzed. You can't think about those things. And I never thought about those things on the field. But now, being 10 years removed, I look at those games and I'm like, I can't believe that I did that. And then I ask myself sometimes, could I tap back into that mentality? Absolutely not. I could not tap back into that mentality that I had when I was playing in the NFL.
All right, so it's all so interesting. I mean, I could follow you any number of ways. Like, for instance, I'm not going to compare it to war per se, but when you ended, did you have any kind of PTSD when you ended? Like, what was it like when you stopped playing the game?
Well, I had my identity stripped from me.
Right.
And Jim Tressel would always warn us, make sure the game is something that you do and not who you are and not who you become. And even though I was forewarned, it was still very difficult, because now you don't have your teammates, you don't have the training staff. A lot of the people that, outside of the game of football that you swore were your friends or would always have your back, these people totally disappear. So you have to go through this period of the unknown. And dealing with that, the first
you're a bad
2
man,
months.
Dude. You're a bad man, dude.
The first 2 months that I retired, I drank almost every day, Jim, because I didn't know what to do. My schedule was stripped. I didn't have the people around me or the network at that time. And then one day I had a really bad nightmare and I just snapped out of it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go do TV out in the Bay Area and cover the 49ers. And then that's when my trajectory changed.
Dante, what was the nightmare?
The nightmare was, I had a long night of partying. I woke up, there were liquor bottles everywhere. There were women all over the house. There were women in my second and third bedroom. And the night I went to sleep, after waking up after that party, I saw my whole skeleton being in a flame. It was almost as if everything that I accomplished, who I was being burned to the ground, and it scared the shit out of me. And that next day I got up, I sold that place in Miami. I sold the vehicles that I had in Miami. I sold my jewelry. I sold my watches. I went back to a small apartment that I owned in Cleveland, Ohio. And then a week later, I got a call from NBC Sports Bay Area, which showed me that I made the right decision.
All right, welcome back. If you're finding us just now on YouTube, let me welcome you to the program. Maybe you've been listening to the radio show for a long, long time, and for whatever reason are just now finding us on YouTube. It is great to have you here. So now that you're here, jump up in the chat. Hey, do me a favor, though. If you found us on YouTube, can you hit the subscription button? Hit the sub button. That matters a lot. That would help me and us and everybody involved quite a bit. Just hit it once, and then you don't have to worry about it ever again, and then the show will find you, and you don't have to look for the show. Just hit subscribed, and that'd be awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so again, I've done everything I could not to do this. I did not want to do this. I don't want to do this. The last thing I want to do is this. The last thing I want to do is give you the latest from Bag Watch 2026, a.k.a. the indecision, a.k.a. LeBron holding the world hostage and milking the hell out of his free agency decision. I have no more interest in this baggery than any of you at this point. I would love nothing more than to have an answer already so we can all just move on. I mean, we even sang to the dude. That's how badly I wanted this thing to end. We even sang to this dude and everything. You know things are desperate when I drag the XR4 Ti into it and we all start singing together to make it go away. From the top, a 3, a 2, and a 1. All together.
Please choose LeBron.
No one
really needs to. But you're the biggest bag in the whole world, and we all want to.
That's us.
It's a choice.
Sadly, that's us.
To drag this out and be a bag, and the world will be a better
This was us channeling those bags back in the day. Anyway, see what I mean? We're all losing our minds around here. But of course, we still do not have a decision. Of course, the indecision drags on. And as the indecision becomes every bit as insufferable and obnoxious and unnecessary as the original decision, I'm telling you, the last thing I want to do is talk about this and this dude and what he may or may not do. The last thing I want to do is talk about this dude, period. But he and his agent simply will not let me. They can't help themselves. It's who they are. It's what they do. It's where they live. And where they live is Bagville. The community of Bagville. The only comforting thought during all this nonsense is that at least we're all on the same page about why this is all happening and why LeBag is doing this. We all know it's because he is an attention addict. The dude is a spotlight junkie and a bag, and he's using this opportunity to force everybody to look at him and talk about him. It's very obvious. It's really obvious also that he's loving every second of this and that he's basking in all of this baggy glory. I mean, we're all on the same page about that, right? No, we are not.
Wrong.
No. At least not according to LeBag's esteemed agent, Rich Lava Paul. Because Rich Lava Paul went on his Lava Pod to try to tell us that this is not about, quote, creating a spectacle, end of quote. He actually said that. Listen.
I'll say it again. None of these people know anything. Nobody knows nothing. And I say that respectfully because we haven't made it to where anybody knows anything.
But let me take your temperature on something.
Sure. But no, let me finish first.
Okay,
let me finish. So I think it's important for people to understand we're not making this about attention and a spectacle. It's not about a decision or anything like that. He has a choice to make. He has a business choice to make. We're not going to sit here and decide or allow someone else to decide when he makes that decision or that choice. It's a business choice that he's making. And
what? I mean, huh?
What?
Could that dude make any less sense? I mean, could this be any more of a spectacle? Any more of an attention grab? The two things that he insists it is not. Forget spewing lava. This dude is an eruption and volcano of bullcrap. He's like a BS geyser, just constantly erupting and ejecting BS way into the air so it rains down in every direction and gets all over everybody. My dude, first of all, you just said the following quote. It's not about a decision. He has a choice to make.
It's not about a decision or anything like that. He has a choice to make.
I mean, easy, Rich in Orlando. It's not about a decision. Okay, Mike? It's about a decision.
Okay, Matt. I fish on a boat.
It's not about a decision. It's about a choice he has to make. What?
Fish on boats, okay, Matt.
It's not about a decision
on a boat.
or anything.
Eric
like
in
that. He has a
Orlando
choice
can't
to
believe
make.
how ridiculous that sounds. It's not about a decision, all right? It's about a choice
It's not about
he has
a
to make.
decision or
Again,
anything like that.
make that make sense. Way to
okay,
pontificate while saying nothing at all. Way to contradict yourself while talking down to us. Let me repeat. He said, and I quote, "We're not making this about attention and a spectacle." End of quote. If by we're not making this about attention and a spectacle, you mean you're doing all of this for an attempt at grabbing attention and creating a spectacle, then sure, we're all on the same page. Because everybody else on planet Earth can see this for what it is. Everybody in the world knows exactly what these two are doing, but they still are acting like they're all slick and they're the smartest guys in the room. Rich Paul is like, it's not about getting attention, all right? Hey, you following me, cameraman?
I don't fish on boats, okay, Matt.
Are you following me, camera guy?
Lava Paul is like, it's not about creating a spectacle. Wait, are we live right now?
Spectacle.
Are you all hearing this? Are you all seeing this? Dude's like, it's not about hogging the spotlight. You guys are going to post this on social, right? It's almost like Rich Paul is trying to outbag his own client at this point, which is not easy to do considering LeBron James is the LeBron James of bagging. It's crazy. LeBag has already been completely upstaged during Bag Fest. First by Tom Baggy Brady, and now by his own agent. Hey, and also, is Bag Fest ever going to end? Is Bag Fest forever? Is the world now just one giant bag fest these days? Because, man, it feels that way. You know, every day is hump day for Alvy. Every day is bag day for the rest of us.
Hump day.
It's like bag life. Never mind bag week, bag year. It's like bag life. Year of the bag. Life of the bag. You almost have to admire it. You almost have to admire it at this point. You almost have to admire the brass set to come out and say, we are not doing this for attention. We are not trying to make a spectacle out of anything. You almost have to admire how unbelievably dishonest and disingenuous and baggy it is to say that this is not about grabbing attention or about making it about us. You almost have to admire how absolutely detached from reality the whole LeBag camp is. Notice I said almost. It's just so kooky and sad and weird how attention-starved these people all are. They've been in the freaking spotlight for so long. It's always been about them, always. And somehow they still can never get enough. They're still junkies at this point. They need that fix. Especially since they've said multiple times now that he has all the info he needs to make a decision. Rich Paul just said this, quote, there have been several people to call and say, hey, Rich, is there anything more that we could be doing? Should be doing, could be doing. And my answer is no. We don't need you to go above and beyond about anything. We understand it. It's clear. All the messages have been sent. End of quote. Translation. We have all the information we need. We're just stalling and bagging and milking and, yes, creating a spectacle. Because if it's not that, then what's the holdup?
And a spectacle.
Why is this so complicated? Here's my question. Why is this so hard? He's a soon-to-be 42-year-old who is a soon-to-be third or fourth option, possibly even playing on a veteran minimum contract. How much time could y'all possibly need? Of course, it's not about needing time. It's about needing attention. These dudes know the entire world is waiting on them, and that's what this is about, which is why it's absurd that Lava Paul still has the nerve to say, we will not be rushed. We will not be rushed. Rushed, my dude. The whole situation is moving at the slowest pace ever. We're all just waiting around on you. Who is rushing you? Who's pressuring you? We've already been through this. Powder himself can't do anything about it, and he's the commissioner of the damn league. Pat Riley can't do anything about this, and he's the godfather of the damn league.
Get a grip.
Steph and Draymond can't even do anything about it. And they're boys with your guy. No matter how important you are, it doesn't matter. You're still waiting on LeBron like everybody else. And yet this guy wants to complain about being rushed. We will not be rushed. He also said the decision could come in, quote, 48 seconds or 48 minutes. Whatever the hell that means. But we will not be rushed. We will not be rushed. This decision could come in 48 seconds or maybe 48 minutes. We just don't know. Maybe 48 years. But we're not making a spectacle out of this. We are not making this an attention grab, a pub grab, or creating a spectacle. Whatever you say, my dude. Just know the entire world does not agree on anything, but I think almost all of us can agree on one thing. The only reason that we do not have an answer yet is because you two are trying to make this the biggest, baggiest spectacle ever. Oh, and grab some attention and get us to look at you and get us to talk about you. And damn, it worked again. It worked again. I did it again. I promised myself I wouldn't do it, and I just did it again for an entire segment. But they're not making a spectacle out of anything. Hour 3, straight ahead. We are joined right now by Jamahl Mosley. Jamahl, always great to rap with you. Jamahl, what's going on, dude? How you feeling?
I'm great. How you doing, Jim? It's always great to talk to you.
So good to see you. Appreciate you very much. All right, so after parting ways with the Magic, you quickly agreed to become the head coach of the Pelicans. Let me ask you this. After 5 years with the Magic, where were you at mentally? For instance, did you think about taking a step back and kind of looking for the next move on the chessboard, or did you not need that time, and were you looking to jump back in and challenge something or attack the next challenge immediately?
Oh, I thought about taking some time away, just reflecting on the 5 years being in Orlando, the people, the culture we created. It was talking to Joe D and then talking to Miss Benson and then Joe with Jordan and Troy. There was just such an immediate fit and alignment with what they were building and continuing to build, down in New Orleans.
All right, so that's something interesting. I was going to get there, but you beat me to it. So alignment. I was going to ask about alignment, and you mentioned Joe D, and Joe D is Joe Dumars. For franchises, obviously good ones, they have great alignment, right? Alignment between the head coach and the players, alignment between the head coach and the front office. How much of the appeal for you and this opportunity was Joe Dumars and working with him?
I mean, that was it. Getting on the phone with him and sitting in front of him, just talking about like his leadership style, the vision that he has for the organization, for the city, the community. It's just incredible. Just the ability to how you treat people, the way you show up every day, the communication you have as an organization has just been absolutely fantastic.
Jamahl Mosley is joining us. Jamahl, let me ask you about your culture. Like every coach is talking about culture. Does your culture, yours, does it travel? In other words, are you looking to build a very similar culture to the one you had in Orlando, or do you make tweaks and changes for a new team and a new situation?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I mean, that's the difference in like culture and playing style. I think culture is the people that you have in that building. I brought a majority of my staff with me because they understand it's about the people that you have around you. and how you treat people every single day, the work ethic that you have, and what you're trying to build is something bigger than you. So what we did in Orlando, I think it does transfer over to what we're doing in New Orleans because of what we're talking about and the people we're bringing in and how we want to go about approaching each and every single day with our work ethic, our mentality, our focus level, and just the what we're trying to do in the community and on the court.
All right, so if you like that question, I like your answer even better, that there's culture and then there's playing style. What about playing style? So is the playing style going to be based on the roster you have? What will that team look like? What kind of playing style are we talking about now?
Well, we've talked about the defense being the anchor of all of it. Always being a coach and the focus level that defense travels. And I don't want to get it, misconstrued that, offensively, this team was pretty good last year down in New Orleans. I think they did a lot of great things. So being able to, piggyback off of that, but then adding the defensive component to it, that we attack downhill, but we're doing it off of getting stops, being able to create defensive disruption night in and night out, and that being able to create our offense.
We're talking to Jamal Mosley, Pelicans head coach. So let's talk about some of your guys then. So you're going to connect. You're going to obviously look to connect with all of your players. That's critical, but especially your star players. What types of things have you been talking to Zion Williamson about? And then how would you describe where his head and his game are at right now? Because after all, he's still only 26.
Yeah, Zion's been fantastic. We connected a lot of the guys, majority of the guys we connected in Vegas. They came out, did a workout together, got on the field. Our veteran and DeAndre Jordan helped organize a lot of that, but it's been great. Zion's been fantastic. Been in the weight room with him, been on the court with him, FaceTimed him. We talk about different concepts, different schemes, but he's been absolutely fantastic with his mentality walking into this summer and walking into this year.
All right, so DeAndre, since you mentioned him, what's it like having a guy like that around who, at 37, has pretty much seen and done almost everything? How much does he have to offer both on the floor and in the locker room?
Yeah, I think it goes back to, like we said, being able to have the workouts in Vegas that he had a bunch of the guys at. I think it says so much about what a veteran can do. And I think the missing out on veterans in the locker room is huge because guys will listen to the coach's voice to a degree and what we're trying to put out there. But when you have a guy that's been through it, seen it, can teach these young guys what it takes with a work ethic, the professionalism that you have to have, it means a lot more coming from that locker room. And he's also a guy that's going to continue to connect people.
All right, so we're moving to hour number 3. Nice to have you here. I am Jim Rome. I am live. Well, I am live. You might not be seeing this live, but I am live right now in Southern California, 3 hours a day, except on days when we have our podcast, which is on Wednesday, generally. I mentioned tomorrow I'm going to tape a conversation with former NHLer Chris Pronger. Keep things moving. That will be episode number, let me think, 418. I've been doing that podcast for well over a decade. So 418 tomorrow, Chris Pronger. So we have that. In the meantime, you know where to find me. We start hour number 3. You know who I want to talk about. New hour, new topic. New hour, new topic. In fact, new hour, new topics, plural. I want to shout out taking inspiration from my guy, Eli Drinkwitz. A few shout outs. Let me shout out my half fam. The half fam, the Chowds, the Chowderheads, Boston. Back there in the back row, if you're watching on the stream, is none other than Alex Hattie. Full Chowd. Full Chowd. Got a full Chowd in the back row. Got full Jersey in the front row. Alvy, what are you, actually? Callie? What? Never knew that. Come on. Liar. You're a liar. You're a liar and a felon. Alvy just informed me that he was born in Jersey. Tommy, did you know that you had a fellow Jersey native next to you?
Absolutely,
Because I've
I
been
did.
with Alvy for 15 years plus, and I never knew that.
Absolutely, I did. I'm quite proud as a New Jerseyan that we produced this unbelievable engineer.
Dude,
Best ever in our business.
Is Lauren from Jersey? Is
Exactly.
Lauren from Jersey? Is Nick from Jersey? Am I from Jersey?
I'll
Alvy,
wish.
you spent the first 11 years of your life in New Jersey? Please be on the air, bro.
I can't hear you yet. Wait. Hey. Hey, Jim.
Not even a hi, Jim. Hey, all right. So okay. Do I have to ask Stucknut for confirmation? I don't know. I did fall on my vacation and bounce my head off of the famous boathouse, but I don't recall ever knowing that you are a native New Jerseyan.
Yeah, born in Port Reading, New Jersey, 11 years, and then moved to LA. That's it.
Well, that's more than enough, dude.
Deep story.
That's more than enough. So what I've gotten out of you today is an F-bomb on the air, and the fact you were born in New Jersey, and I never even knew it. Not even like I was born there and then we moved when I was 9 months old. You spent the first 11 years of this incredible life there.
Oh yeah. One quick story. I used to always say yeah, and then when I moved to California. Yeah, this was in the 818.
No, I'm saying, oh, dude, because I still try to beat that out of my kids, not physically,
like
but in my family, this goes on still. Logan's like, yeah. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to say yeah all the time, and then my 5th grade teacher was at 6th grade. She was like, yeah, if you say yeah one more time, you're gonna have to write yes, Mrs. Walsh 1,000 times.
Did it work?
Like literally, like 5 minutes later, I said yeah.
Yeah.
So were you
She made
posted
me
up at
do
that
it, too,
blackboard?
and it was like-
did you name check Mrs. Walsh 1,000
like,
times?
Sweet, incredible teacher, love her to death. R.I.P. Yeah, she.
I don't even know she was sick.
Dude. Yeah, she made me do
what
it
elementary
too.
school was this?
And then St. Euphrasia in Granada Hills.
Yeah,
Shout out
818,
to-
baby.
Yeah, there you go.
818, Granada Hills.
So, but yeah, I don't say yeah, unless I actually. Well, yeah, but for the most part, yes. It's always yes. Yes, Jim. Yes.
So that was a Jersey thing? I don't know. Tommy's from Jersey. He doesn't say yeah.
I mean, there are a couple things. I said, I remember the first word that came out funny was car. And then, yeah, that's when I got made fun of a bunch by the little 818 kids. Cool, dude.
The
I was
818
new.
boys.
Yeah.
I know. 818's a rough life. Wow, Albie, I'm learning a lot about you. One, you're more than comfortable F-bombing on the air. I didn't think you had that in you. And two, you're from New Jersey. Is there anything else I should know that I didn't know? Unless you're saying to me respectfully, Jim, you did know, you just don't remember.
That's it.
Okay.
You know everything now.
Okay. That's more than enough. I did not know that. All right, so let me reset that. In the back row, Boston. In the front row, Jersey and Jersey. Thought we had a Cali native up front. Alvy. Man, you never, ever cease to amaze. All right, so there's that. Baba in the OC. Oh, super chat. A $5 chat. Thank you, my man. You didn't have to do that. Can Alvy please drop the OT hammer on La Bag Fest?
That's not a good call. No. You don't like
No offense, dude. I would have done that for free.
It's not
Unfortunately,
about
that's not going to
decision
stop it.
or anything.
That
like
will not
he
stop
has a
it.
choice to make.
Matt Bogart, 6882. Poway, Escondido, Pacific Beach, San Diego, South Bay, 909. React to me. Sign the bag. Essentially, pretty much is what they're doing. Jay in Tampa, quote, "La Deuce. Just flush it and move on." Signed all of us.
You don't sit there and look at it. You flush it and move on.
Nate Harper won. Waiting on LeBag to make his decision is more painful than watching Space Jam 2. Tough question. Even I can't agree with that. As somebody who starred in Space Jam 1, even I can't agree with that. Yes, it hits close to home. I was one of the stars of Space Jam 1. That was really painful. Raz management. LeVar Ball thinks that LeBag is insufferable. All right, anyway, back to where I started. The fam. Alex Hardy in the back row, full Chowd fam. I am a half Chowd. I know many of you in Boston don't like me. Problem is, I'm half you. Man, think how much you'd hate me if I was all of you. But I am half you. I remember I met a reporter once. He wrote at that time either for the Boston Herald or the Globe, maybe the Herald, and I was somewhere in the middle of my career. And I met this guy, and I'm chatting this guy up, and this, that, the other. And I'm like, hey, you know, I have family in Boston. I have family in Brookline. I have family, you know, my dad, this, that, on. And he looks at me and goes, really, Rome? Because everybody in Boston hates your guts. I'm like, wow. That was real. So anyway, in Boston, not everybody. I know my cousins like me. So, Chouts, I'm half you. You may hate me all, but I'm half you. But we got to talk, half fam. We got to talk about what's gotten into the Red Sox. Because the last we checked with the Red Sox, these dudes were left for dead, bleeding out on the side of the road. Last we thought about the Red Sox, they had just canned my dude, Alex Cora, which I was very much against. And the fans were only showing up to Fenway to chant, "Sell the team, sell the team." And they were. That's how bad that was. Sell the team. They're chanting at John Henry, "Sell the team." And they fired Alex Cora. And there was a viral anonymous quote, allegedly from a former player, that described the Cora firing like this, quote, "It's like bleeping your pants and changing your shirt." An incredible line, except he went with the full S-bomb. We now know the author of that gem, and I hadn't thought about this guy in a minute, but I used to love this guy when he played. Josh Beckett. Josh Beckett. Because in true Josh Beckett form, he stepped up and he owned it. And I get why. Because he wasn't wrong at the time, and it was a great line. But my point is, 10 seconds ago, it was like bleeping your pants and changing your shirt, and things were about as bad as they could possibly be for my Chowd half fam. 4 weeks ago, the Red Sox had the worst record in the American League. Now, all of a sudden, they've run off not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 10, not 12. 14 straight dubs. I'll even play this song.
3, not 4, not
and now
5,
they're only one
not 6.
dub away from tying the longest win streak in franchise history. All without Garrett Crochet or Roman Anthony. How the hell did that happen? These dudes were about to have a trade deadline fire sale, and now they're on their biggest heater in 80 years since my guy Teddy Bomb Pop was on the team. Long before he became a Bomb Pop. It's somehow true. The Red Sox have risen from the ashes, rose from the grave to run off the team's longest win streak since 1946. The Red Sox in the last 3 weeks have been like Bacon Fest, climbing out of his coffin with his lame white contact lenses at Bagfest. Except the Red athletic since he ran that 40 at the Combine. Like I said yesterday, upon seeing that made Maverick look like Nolan Ryan dropping down and throwing those dog tags off the pier in Top Gun. Anyway, that said, the Red Sox running off 14 in a row is absolutely incredible. But it's not the most awesome thing that I saw in baseball yesterday. Even the way they won that game. And that was awesome. Sorry, half fam. But the most amazing thing and the most awesome thing that I saw yesterday was Reds reliever Caleb Ferguson. Let's just say my dude Caleb rang one of the loudest fat alarms I have ever heard while playing the Mariners yesterday. And the goofy thing is, I can't even hear what he said, but believe me, you can read his lips. That's one of those cases where you don't even have to be a professional lip reader to read this guy's lips and hear what this guy said. And most of all, hear the fat alarm ringing. Let me set the scene. 7th inning, 7-0 game. Victor Robles hits a routine bouncer towards short, and then this happened.
Chopping up the middle, Arroyo runs into the umpire, and with that, the Mariners have him on the corners. Bill Miller, our crew chief, wrong place, wrong time. Sorry about it, man.
Yep.
Ferguson not very pleased.
No, he wasn't. I got that much.
Luce is shaking his head like,
yep.
Yep. Wrong place, wrong time? What, you mean on the scale? If you're listening and did not have the opportunity to read those lips, Ferguson clearly said something to the effect of, quote, effing fat ass, get out of the way, fat MFer.
Fat ass.
Here it comes again if you're watching on the stream. Incredible.
Fat ass.
Oh, it's way more than fat ass. There are F-bombs and MF bombs, and he was unable to get out of the way. Look, I'm not saying that y'all have to be like some incredible specimen, but if you've got like a chopper coming up the middle, that was not a line drive, all right, that the guy had no chance. This is a dude getting tangled up with a player, unable to get out of the way of a chopper up the middle. Yo, ump show, have some, you effing fat asses.
Fat
Down
ass.
out of the way. My man Scotty Farrell, he's got to respect the intensity of that fat ass blast. He's not wrong either. The hell was Tubbo doing there anyway? How the hell does the ump show get in the way of a routine ground ball and a player? Oh, wait, I know, because they're too effing fat to get out of the way.
Fat!
Not my take. Ferguson's take. Look, I am not into fat shaming. Well, yes, I am. In this case, I am if you're so fat you can't do your job properly. Then it's not fat shaming anymore. If you're so fat you can't do your job, then the fat alarm is more like a courtesy. Ferguson ringing that fat alarm is actually doing you a favor, ump show. Believe me, you should listen to it. That dude rang the alarm unlike anybody I've ever seen. I was proud of our alarm until I saw that dude's alarm. Now that's a fat alarm.
Fat ass.
Alvy, your fat alarm was amazing. That right there, though, Ferguson's got his own fat alarm. Look at this guy. He is so mad. So, with apologies to my Chowd half fam, you just can't compete with that fat alarm. Not when it's that loud. Not even 14 straight wins can compete with a legendary fat ass blast.
Fat ass.
Not even the longest winning streak in 80 years can impress me more than a reliever in a blowout willing to ring the loudest fat alarm ever on a baseball field right in an ump show's fat face.
Right in my face.
And he did. And he did. My man could not have been any less mobile in trying to get out of the way of the player and the ball. Wrong place at the wrong time. On the scale. No, wrong place at the wrong time. On the field. Wrong place at the wrong time. At work. Wrong place at the wrong time. Earth. Man, that was bad. Really bad. Hedstrom Bacon, come on, Jim. Stop going back to talking about LeBron. Show some restraint. Signed, your sugary snacks in your pantry. That's fine, Bacon, but your handle's the Bacon guy. What's worse, man? Me going into the pantry to find sugary snacks, or you running around with the handle the Bacon guy? What, yours is protein, yours is healthier? Hey man, it's either salt or it's sugar. Either way we lose. You lose, I lose. The Bronx Buckeye made it in. Hey, at Jim Rome, Alvy wasn't allowed to say yeah, so he made the deck a yeah. It all makes sense now. Alvy, what are you doing with all those people? It's the Jersey Shore! Alvy! You're with all your pals. I love that. Look at Alvy. Alvy, man. Jim Tan Laundry, brah. Are you and Pauly D still hanging out? How about you in the situation? Schnooky?
That's one shot. That's one shot,
One shot, kid.
That's
just
one
shot, Alvy. Alvy's just going around flexing on people. That's one shot. That's one shot, kid. And one more from Quincy, CA, Rome. Happy 29th anniversary. No joke, my wife and I just celebrated our 29th in June. Like you, we are trying to figure out what we will be doing next year for 30. All the best to you and DJ. Damien, I'm not trying to figure out what I'm going to do for 30. I don't know. But I'm not trying to figure it out yet. There it is. There's the post. There's Jano and Jimmo. That was us at Restoration Hardware on Saturday night. I don't know what we're doing for our 30th. I don't know what we're doing this weekend. I don't know what I'm doing for dinner tonight. I don't know. The things like that used to be so important, not as important. I mean, I want to do it right, but I don't know. I'd maybe go to the lake, maybe not. I do not know. Jano's something else. Jano threw me a surprise 30th birthday party. Nailed it. I didn't expect it. Threw me a surprise 40th birthday party. Didn't expect that. She nailed me again. And then she threw the most unbelievable party. I still have people to this day tell me that it was the most incredible party they've ever attended for my 50th. And one of my favorite games, I still ask her, how much did that cost? What did that cost me? And she would always say, you don't need to worry about that. I'm like, I'm not worried about it. I'm just really curious because that was a wild party. That's when we had the English beat in our backyard. I said, what did that cost? Now we've reached an age where she's like, I don't remember. I'm like, I believe you now. I don't know what we're doing for our 30th, honestly. I'm at a point in my life where if I could get the kids together and we could all four of us be in the same place at the same time, that'd be amazing. I do not know. Yesterday, Bella B said, you know what you should do? You know what you should do for your 30th? You should go to Portugal. I don't know, from my 29th, I went to Newport Beach. So I don't know that I have the same ambition, Bella. I'll let you know when I know. And I would say to you, I'll let you know when Jano lets me know, but Jano won't know either. Anyway, one more, Jimmy K. Hey, Rome. Braun isn't the GOAT. He's the boat. And the note. Baggiest of all time, neediest of all time, such a tired act. Got milk? LeBag and Rich Paul are squeezing every last drop from the drama udder. No, Jimmy, that's not what's going on. Did you not hear Rich Paul? It is not about getting attention.
We're not making
It is
this
not about
attention,
making a spectacle. It's not about a decision. He has a choice. This is, what do you idiots not understand about this? This is not about him making a decision. It's about the man making a choice.
It's not about a decision or anything like that. He has a choice to make.
There. All right, enough. Get off this guy's back. This is not about him making a decision. He has a choice to make. And it's not about them dragging it out, even though they have all the information they need, and they don't need any team to give them anything else. You know who's needy? You two. You need a better explanation as to why you're dragging this thing out if it's not for attention. I know you don't need more time to make a decision. I know. How much time could you need? I'll say it again. How much time do you need to make a decision for a 42-year-old to go be option number 3 somewhere and maybe make the NBA veterans minimum? How much more information do you need to pour over to make that decision? So in the absence of a better explanation, then we just need more time. I'm going to assume it is for the attention and to create a spectacle. And by the way, it's working. It's working. All right, when we come back, still not done. Man, the Angels gonna angel. You know how I always talk about the Dodgers being an incredible organization? The Angels are a horrible organization. And both those things can be true and are. Do you want to perform better? Why don't you start with sleep? Because you can't work, train, think, golf, or recover if you're waking up wrecked. That's why GhostBed makes so much sense to me. Like, for instance, I'm a really hot sleeper, so that's why I love GhostBed. GhostBed's cooling technology really got my attention and did so quickly. It helps keep heat from getting trapped underneath you, so you sleep cooler and you wake up ready to go. Hot sleepers are some of GhostBed's happiest customers. But GhostBed is not just about cooling, it's also built for real support. Your back, hips, shoulders, and neck, so your body can actually rest and recover overnight. That's the entire point. You shouldn't wake up feeling like you fought your mattress all night long. And with GhostBed's 101 night sleep trial, you don't have to guess. You can literally sleep on it for more than 3 months and then decide if it's right for you. Right now, you clones can get GhostBed's lowest prices of the season and an additional 10% off. All you have to do is go to ghostbed.com/Rome and use the promo code Rome. Ghostbed.com/Rome, promo code ROME.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Come on, man. Chat's cracking me up. It's going to be a short segment because that was a really long segment. This is only the second segment of the hour.
Come on.
Come on. Eric on the South Side, quote, that Alvy needs to go back to Jersey with that attitude. Signed Rock Chalk Broadcaster. Still one of my favorite college basketball moments ever.
Tristan Enaruna has it taken away by Pappas as he was trying to dribble out the clock, and Pappas throws down a dunk and then gets up in Enaruna's face. He's going to get teed up, and he should. KU was doing the classy thing and running out the clock. Pappas then comes in, takes the ball away, throws a dunk, and then talks trash. He needs to get back to New Jersey with that type of attitude.
He needs to get back to New Jersey with that type of attitude so they can immortalize him and build a statue for him and forever remember him. Georgie, that was so great. They're up by 50 plus. And Kansas was just trying to do the classy thing and dribble out the clock. But nobody told Georgie because he ripped the ball, went the other way, threw down a jam, and got up in the opposition's face and was talking junk. It was incredible. It's one of my favorite college basketball moments ever, made better only by the Kansas broadcast crew that was so offended and up in arms that somebody was still trying with time left on the clock. It was hilarious. Oh, you know what we need? We need like a super chat alarm or a super chat bell or something. We need a bell. We need something to signify a super chat. The super chat is when somebody pays money to get to the front of the chat line. Don't we have something? Do we have something? We need a bell, Alvy. Alvy, you've been really trigger shy. Not that bell. We need its own bell. Nah. Maybe that. I don't know, something, Alvy. You've been a little trigger and gun shy since you played that F-bomb earlier in the day. You seem a little shook. Normally you're quick. You seem a little shook. Understandably, but anyway, Rhino. Hey, Rhino, what up, dude? Rhino with $4.99. Hey, Rhino, why don't you just round that up, man? Give me $5. Give me a Lincoln, Rhino. Rhino, quote, JR, please let Lawrence do his LeBag mix. Some of our phones are buzzing more than Abby's faves. Make it stop. Here is the problem, and I didn't think there'd be a problem, but here's the problem with the chat. Lawrence knows he can't get on the air. So he goes into the chat and starts talking about, I'm on hold. I got this for Rome. Tell Rome to put me on. And then he's running this whole game on the side. He even got Ryan to pay me $5. I don't know if Lawrence Venmo'd him the $5 to do it. Whatever it is. It didn't work, whatever it is. Billy Webb, 9388, quote, it's not a decision, it's a choice. Is there a difference? Damn.
It's not about
Webb, slow down.
Or anything like that. He has a choice.
Right, Billy. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. You're catching on, though, dude. Way to go. V in the fee, quote, that was a chopper up the middle? I thought it was a whopper coming at me. Signed Whale Miller. Here you go, V. Here you go, V. Like Blue saw a gigantic whopper bounding towards him. Why would he get out of the way? It's like, why didn't he just open up his mouth? That's embarrassing, man. Again, if that were a line drive or a hot shot right back through the box and you couldn't get out of the way, fine. But if you're not athletic or agile enough to get out of the way of a ground ball up the middle and you're running into players, like, he guy's hands up, I didn't do anything. Really? Then why is the reliever F-bombing you from here to the end of the earth? Because you're a fat mother bleeper, according to him.
Fat?
That's embarrassing. All right, when we'll come back, one last segment. Man, that dude is so mad. He's funny. He's got his faith around his neck, and he's just F-bombing.
fat ass.
Except he didn't fat ass him. He F-bombed and MF-bombed him and fat-assed him. He did all of the above. Here's one. Effing this. Get the F out of the way. Signed everybody trying to get to the bathroom at Taco Bell after eating their lettuce. V in the fee. That's the V I've been waiting on.
I know there's something in that lettuce.
V in the fee is double fisting. He is sending both chats and emails simultaneously. Bro, you should just put the phone in your mouth and do all three at once. One hand to chat, one hand to email, and just dial with your nose or something. All right, we'll come back. One last segment. Final thoughts. It's not too late to get through. You can do that too. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
So, Parody Larity's new thing in chat is, this is disrespectful of a smack-off co-champ. A smack-off co-champ deserves a lot more respect than this. Oh, I agree. And if you were a smack-off co-champ, I would not be treating you like this. But you're not that, bro. Yeah, you're right. I would never treat a smack-off co-champ like this. Anyway, I'm sure that you did not see this story today in The Athletic about the team right up the road, because who would stop and read anything about the Angels right now? However, this baseball spy guy story is something else. And by something else, what I really mean is another example of the Angels' incredible ineptitude. It's like one of the dumbest stories you're ever going to hear. And you all know I do not go out of my way to clown this organization, even if they basically always deserve it. I really try not to take any unnecessary runs at the Angels. But when absolutely wild nonsense like this, like the owner claiming that winning isn't even in the fans' top 5 priorities, of course I have to respond. Or if there's a rodent infestation at the ballpark, of course I'm going to talk about that. Hey, and by the way, how's it going with the rally rat and the rally possum? Judging by the Angels' current worst record in the American League, I'm going to say not that well. I guess the rat and the possum are just as inspiring as that monkey was not. This time, though, the latest embarrassing Angels report actually might be even more embarrassing than the rodent infestation. Because according to this expose in The Athletic, the Angels had to fire a scout last month for illegally filming the Rockies dugout, which might not seem like that big of a deal until you realize that this, quote, scout already existed on social media under the following moniker: The Baseball Spy. Literally his handle on X. Of course, the account is now private ever since The Athletic discovered that this dude was just at The Baseball Spy.
Private.
And there he is. There he is, at The Baseball Spy. Boomer. Private. That's private. He also apparently briefly had a podcast called The Baseball Spy. Essentially, this guy's brand was being a baseball spy, whatever that means. What's a baseball spy do? Anyway, the Angels found out exactly what that means, and they can't really act surprised, can they? How can you be surprised when you hire the baseball spy to come be a scout, and he ends up getting himself axed for doing some baseball spy nonsense? He's walking around in broad daylight telling everybody, I'm the baseball spy. And yet they hire him as a scout. His handle was not the baseball scout. It was the baseball spy. Does it get any more angelic than this? Any more angels than this? Why the hell would you hire this guy? Of course he was going to do some sketchy spy BS. It's right there in his handle. He obviously lives for it. It's his brand. And of all the dugouts to film, the Rockies? Really? We're going to blatantly break MLB rules to try to get an edge on the signs coming from the Rockies dugout. Again, really? That's the only team with a worse record in all of baseball, so let's bring in some guy to cheat against the Rockies. Man, we got to figure out exactly what the Rockies are doing, because they're better than us, barely, but we need to know what they're doing. Let's cheat and spy on them. Here's the good news. Here is the silver lining, Halo fans. The guy who hired the baseball spy is already gone. Because obviously, Perry Manassian got sawed off not long after the baseball spy got sawed off last month. So at least the dude who got is not there anymore. The rodents might still be around, but the Perry is not. Nor is the spy. Man, if this was any other organization, I would be wondering, how the hell could this possibly happen? But because it's the Angels, I don't wonder how it could happen. I would have been way more surprised if it didn't happen. They hired a guy whose handle was the baseball spy. And what did he do? He spied. He got caught. And what did he do? He spied for the worst team on the second to worst team and got fired and got caught. Yeah, I know. I'm the one who's saying, hey, Rome, aren't you the one who always says, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, and it's only cheating if you get caught? Yeah, well, the baseball spy got caught. And how did he get caught? He's got a handle on X calling himself the baseball spy, and he had a podcast named The Baseball Spy.
That's private.
Why not even have a handle that just says, I cheat? I cheat. Connor Stallions can't believe how lame this is. Connor Stallions can't believe what this guy was thinking. Connor Stallions has integrity compared to this guy. I mean, again, why not, instead of going private with the account, why not just change your handle to I cheat? I will cheat for you. I'm a cheater. I got fired because I cheat. Was that handle taken already? Just add a few numbers to it. I cheat. 6734. At I cheat. 67344698. The Angels, man. The baseball. You hired the baseball spy as a scout? He's not a scout, he's a spy. It's right there in the title of the pod and the handle. I mean, it's one thing to hire a scout with a podcast. I don't know how many of those there are. How many spies have podcasts? How many baseball spies have podcasts? How many baseball spies are there? Hey, yo, bro, do you drink Vespers? Do you go to Monaco? Do you drive an Aston Martin? Do super hot, attractive women flock to you because you're a spy? Haunted Horse is in. Hey, Jim, do you have that unemployed baseball spy's phone number? Signed, Jim Harbaugh. Good one, bro.
Keeping
exactly.
a tidy box.
Exactly, Horse. Twin 78. The Rat King was the spy as he ratted on them. Chris 2404. Film the Dodgers. Anaheim, you clowns. There you go. Exactly. It's one thing to hire a spy as a scout, but then the guy gets caught cheating, trying to get some edge against the Rockies. It's like the most Angel thing ever. Again, I don't want to talk about them, and I don't swerve out of my lane to talk about them, but they give me no choice. Increase your vehicle's performance with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Add it to your tank to eliminate carbon and varnish deposits. Get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for only $9 plus. Receive 2 times O Rewards points at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That is a wrap. My thanks to the legend, Eli Drinkwitz, head football coach at Missouri. You should go back and listen to that. Look for it on our YouTube channel. My thanks to the XR4 Ti. Alvy had a day. 1, he let an F-bomb get on the air. 2, he's from New Jersey. My thanks to the XR4 Ti. My thanks to all of you clones. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. We're out.